Sundaraj, how much time do we need?
How many have come? I could not see the count.
So far, I think, let me just see. So far, including you, 20. The 20th person has just stepped in.
Okay, shall we start?
You mentioned totally there are a count of 30, right? So
Yes,
should
yes.
we
Around 30
wait for
will be, 30 to
couple
40
more
will be
minutes?
joining. We'll wait.
So we'll do one thing. We'll wait for 2 more minutes. So you
Yeah.
can post it internally to the team to join in.
Yeah, I posted already in the students groups.
Okay, Sundarraj, can we start?
Yes, yes, we can start. Yes. So let me start.
Yes, please.
So good afternoon to everybody present here. So we have a resource person, Mr. Ashok. So he is the head of the solar, the company named Al Nabuda Electrics LLC, situated in UAE, Dubai. And he has readily agreed to present a webinar on solar energy applications to our students. So actually our students here are taking the elective subjects solar energy and wind energy, and also some of them have taken renewable energy as the elective. So that's why I've asked the resource person to talk about solar energy applications. So let me introduce the resource person. So Mr. Ashok has 22 plus years of active contribution in solar and automotive domain in business development, operations of utility scale, and rooftop projects with national international exposure. Uh, he also traveled to about 15 countries so far in MENA, Australia, Europe, and Asia regarding the business dealings and projects. So he was the panelist and speaker on various forums, including EQ International, Intersolar, Vetex, etc. So he is a certified business excellence coordinator, and also he is a certified PADI advanced scuba diver, golfer, and writer. He has about 132 writing credits for him. So with this small introduction, so I welcome the resource person to deliver a lecture on solar energy applications. Please, sir.
Yeah. Thanks, Sundarraj. Dear students, how many of you are fans of Vijay, actor Vijay?
So students feel free to interact. Okay, so interaction is very important. That's why we have asked questions already previously from you, and I have sent to the resource person. So please feel to interact. Yes,
Come
students,
on, man.
please.
One of you, please speak up. How many of you are fans of actor Vijay?
Only Tala, sir.
Talaya. Vijay fan ortharume illiyappa. Acha, one person. I think one person has lifted his hand. Okay. The specific reason I started the topic with a lighter note asking about Vijay fans is this is not a master movie, and we are not going to have a kind of a faculty student equation. So you feel free, comfortably at ease. Stop me wherever you feel like. Am I audible? Sundarraj, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, yeah, I could hear.
Yeah, I believe so are the other people able to hear me at ease. So feel free and be comfortable, be interactive. This is not going to be a monologue. We have to have active dialogue. Even if the session goes beyond our stipulated time, I'm fine with that as long as you guys are not hungry over there, because the time zone here and there are a little different. I believe it should be getting close to your lunch time. So it's always better to have a session prior to lunch so that you feel that, okay, there is some active things to air out before I fill in my belly. So with this basic thing, I'll get into the discussion, guys. And as a small backdrop information, myself and your faculty, Mr. Sundarraj, happened to graduate from the same college. We did it from the AC Tech Karaikudi. And with that goodwill note, we happened to touch base with each other. And when he asked me if I can deliver the session, I agreed for it. So I too had been students like you once upon a time. So fine, let's get into the chapter of discussion. Is everybody able to see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this will be a brief intro about solar, because solar is quite a vast chapter. I have some specific slides to showcase how big is solar. So what I'll do is I'll try to do justice to the available time that we have and give some brief insights that what you guys can as of now be in a position to assimilate. And thanks to the Sri Krishna College of Technology's faculty and the management. A brief about my company, Al Nabuda Group Enterprises, the one based out of Dubai. The picture that you guys see here is my corporate office, and it's based out of Dubai again. This is a family-run business. We have close to 60 years of excellence with three generations who have been successfully running the business. This is the third of its generation whom are running the business, and it's been predominantly doing quite very well, quite very reputed. People who are very familiar with Dubai as such and UAE as a country, they must be very well aware of this big conglomerate. 1 minute. There are people waiting in the lobby. Okay. So is my screen visible again? If you guys confirm, then I'll go ahead.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So there are 47 nationalities in our organization. We have people ranging from US citizens to Europeans, local Emiratis, Filipinos, Malaysians, Sri Lankans, Indians, Pakistanis, Bangladeshis, so many. So all put together, if you take a whole list of the nationalities of people who are working over here, it's close to 47. And we have 15 different business streams, quite a wide range portfolio, so that we always try to see and balance so that we don't put all eggs in one basket. And we have active presence in various countries, including Oman, UAE, Saudi, and Vietnam. So close to 16,000 employees are as such working with us, and the attrition rate is very, very negligible. One of the firms with the least amount of attrition rate and best employee talent retention is over here. And an active Emiratization that includes people who are based out of UAE and who are the son of the soil. So 30% of the quota is being fulfilled by them. If you look into the business verticals, we have a wide range of business chains, including construction business, commercial vehicles, travel and tourism, tire industries, motorcycles, automotive domain, and lighting, logistics, including, last but not the least, my very own domain, which is solar solutions. So if I have to give a brief insights about every single element so that you get a glimpse of what this business vertical does, it's the Dubai airports, whatever are there, the terminal 1, 2, and 3 are done by our company. We constructed the runways, and we are the ones who are also maintaining that runways. And we have the master franchisee of Harley Davidson bikes. So people who are familiar with the Terminator movie and Arnold, so they very well know what the Harley Davidson bike is. So we used to have that earlier in UAE and Vietnam, and now this will continue to be in operation only and only in Vietnam. And we have our agricultural business, one of the earliest and oldest of its kind. So we basically do date farming. So we have 2 to 3 Emirates named Al Ain, Abu Dhabi, and as well in Fujairah, where we have dates farming. That is being done in the agriculture domain. We also are the people who are representing all the RTA buses. Every single bus that you see here in Dubai are all manufactured in joint consortium with Ashok Leyland, and Ashok Leyland are represented by us in this market. And of course, Solar Solutions is nevertheless one of the feather in the cap. It's quite a recent one. It's been in operation since the past 4 years, and I currently am the head of the business for solar. Guys, clear so far? Everybody through?
Yes, sir.
Sundarraj? Sundarraj, okay?
Yes, Ashok.
Yeah, I believe
It's
the
okay.
sides as well as the
Yeah.
flow is fine. So everybody is able. Okay. So before we get into this core discussion, I wanted to have a kind of a fact check that you guys as of now will have an idea about. It can be a random answer. You can make a guess, or you can refer Google and let me know. So I'll be asking few questions to make it more interactive. So do anybody here tell me, when does the solar plant work best? Under what conditions?
Sir, summer condition.
Okay, that's an answer. Better than answering nothing. That's an answer. I take it as of now. But to be very specific, because you guys are mechanical engineering students, so if we have to specify a little more precisely, do you have any parameters how we define it? I don't expect you guys to be aware of this, but if you have any random guesses or if you have read some article somewhere.
Sir, when the sun's radiation is more.
Okay, fine. I'll reveal the answer. We have a standard test conditions, which we call that as STC. When you have an ambient temperature of 25 degrees Celsius and an air mass of 1.5 and a sun insolation striking the Earth's surface at 1000 watt per meter square, then you get the best of the generation possible from a solar. So if you look into a country like a hot desert where there is active heat all through the day, that doesn't mean that you will have active energy generation, because the higher the temperature, the more the degradation of the solar panels also goes with that. So in comparison with that, a country like Germany, where the temperature prevailing is 25 degrees Celsius and the sun insolation factor is close to this range, because the sun's striking the earth will always have a tolerance. It cannot always be a fixed parameter of 1000 watt per meter square. When the day starts, as the dawn comes up, there will be a gradual increase from 200 watt per meter square to 300, 400, 600, 800. This 1000 watt per meter square is the active sun insolation available during a noon time. So currently the time that you guys are having this session, this should be the best part of the time for energy harness in India. So it applies globally elsewhere too. Okay, let's go to the next question. Average lifetime of solar panels. Any guesses? How many years could that be?
Five years, sir.
5 years. No, that is so less a number. If it was 5 years, I don't think we would be in the business. We would be thrown out of the
Upon
business.
its maintenance.
Come again?
Depend upon its maintenance, sir.
No, that's okay. But even if you maintain it, then there is a specific lifetime, an average lifetime. No more guesses? Come on, man, cheer up.
15, sir.
You guys can give any
15
random
Sir,
answers. It
more
doesn't
than
matter.
20 to
You can
30 years.
you can say 60, you can say 70. I
25
don't
to
mind,
30.
please. Yeah.
15.
1-5.
25
Yes, sir.
to 30.
30 years.
Sir, depending on
somebody
maintenance,
said
more
25.
than 20 years.
Probably
20.
probably at the help of the Google. Appreciate the one who revealed the answer 25. The average lifetime is between 25 to 35 years. So the solar material which goes inside a solar panel is designed to be robust enough to perform in the field for 25 to 35 years. Okay. So why we all deploy solar is for the obvious reasons. It offsets carbon dioxide, right? You are all aware of it. So what will be the carbon dioxide offset scenarios for every 1000 units of energy generation? If you're producing 1000 units, 1000 kWh from solar, there should be a tentative carbon dioxide offset, right? So how much would that be? Come on, nobody will sue you for answering wrong. You can take a guess. Students, தலப்பாட்டு போடலாமா? cheer up பண்றதுக்கு உங்களை Hello? Is everybody there?
No ideas.
Okay. It's 900 kgs. The simple thumb rule is for every unit of solar generation, 0.9 kilograms of carbon dioxide is being offset. So that is the core reason why people are adopting to solar, because it not only gives you a pollution-free electricity, a sustainable electricity, but also a cheaper rate of electricity. So all these reasons are one of the favoring aspects why people adopt to solar. Okay, global solar installations. I'll reveal the answer because this is again some details people in the trade are aware of. So far we have 700 plus gigawatt, out of which active operation plans globally are 620 plus gigawatt. This is the global scenario. When you talk about the Indian solar scenario, as much as 50 plus gigawatt have been installed, both with regard to the utility scale as well as rooftop, and the active plants that are in operation are 45 plus gigawatt. So rest of the plants could be under approval stages, or there could be a lesser tapping of energy out of it, or with a lower performance ratio. So highest solar panel wattage, it is defined in watt peak. What is it available in the market? We have a 550 watt peak panel, which is half a kilowatt. So one solar panel itself is equivalent to half a kilowatt of a system, approximately. So they employ half cut cells. It's a technology by which an active energy harness is done so that in the limited space, you have maximum amount of energy capture. Okay. Guys, what do you think from this slide? Can one of you please answer?
C.
Come again.
C.
T.
C, sir. C.
C. Yeah. But what is the word solar
Someone
C
is doing
indicate?
scuba diving, sir.
Okay, that's a good observation. Guys, solar as a domain is a big sea. In a sea, just the way you have the aquatic beings, you have marine life which are thriving, you have corals which coexist along with the marine biology, and there are active divers who get into the water just to explore this. Every single person, from his perception, the solar is that. So I will substantiate that in a particular slide coming up now. So this is a void sea. So every single constituent of solar have got a specific role to play. It's not that the entire solar chain is only with manufacturers or only with installers or just with people who fund the project. It has got various aspects to it. So let's get into that. So if you have to define solar by the basic value chain, it all starts with polysilicon, the basic raw material. Then it gets converted into solar wafer. Then the solar wafer goes for value addition as a solar cell. It becomes solar panel, the one which I just now mentioned, which is the largest of it being close to half a kilowatt. Finally, they make up a solar system. So there is an entire value chain. There are companies whom are thriving in this. There are various stakeholders whom are involved in it, from the manufacturers, from suppliers, component suppliers, end users. If you have to define solar by basic system type, there are two of it. One is an off-grid application and another is an on-grid application. So wherever you have a kind of a storage associated with no grid prevalent there, you call that application as an off-grid. So all the elements which will necessarily be supported for the loads from the solar generation cannot directly get the power. They will first have to go through a battery storage, inverter, then it gets to the application. And if it is an on-grid application, which is quite very popular these days, you directly get the solar energy, tap it into its inverter, do not have a storage, link it or synchronize it along with the grid power, and that is why it is called as an on-grid. If we have to look into by its application, whatever solar cells constitute the solar energy harness, you can either try to use that to power up a lantern, you can use a solar powered bicycle, you can even power up parts of an automotive car. There are even totally operated solar panel cars that are available in the market. So they have acute amount of energy which are put onto a very small surface, and with active energy harness you are able to even drive them for certain distance. It may not be a very long distance, but to an active distance which is worth the commute is possible. If you have to talk about solar from a stakeholder's perspective, there are developers who develop a project where we talk about a large scale utility power plant or a rooftop system. There are people who basically initiate this chain, they fund the project, then they identify people like us who are the installers. Then comes the vendors that I just now mentioned, people who are manufacturers of not just the solar panel, of the various accessories that go inside a system, like structures. You need structures through which you will mount a solar panel. You will also need a DC cable, AC cable, and the infrastructure that is helping you establish a solar system. So there comes the role of vendors. And finally, the consumers like us, common men, who are getting the benefit out of it by getting the entitlement to enjoy the resources. We are the consumers finally. So if we want to talk about solar, solar can be talked about on all these aspects. So that is why I started the slide with a slight comparative info for you guys so that you can connect with that. If you want to get into one point of a discussion, that itself is going to take a very, very long time, because there are so much of elements into it, so much of detailing into it. There are policy frameworks, there are regulations, there are authorities who govern this, there are approvals involved, so many of it. So currently where we are includes people who are coming under the category of installers. So Al Nabuda comes under the bracket of installers, where we execute the system, where there are clients who are in need of a solar powered system. We reach out to them, we help them establish themselves either in a capex mode or an opex mode. Some of the words I say now could sound to you like Greek and Latin because you are not from this trade, but then try to take the key points that I'm trying to convey. So maybe you can have a kind of a futuristic scenario where we can have few more sessions where I can try to give you a much more a detailed versions of that specific aspects. So with this, let's go further. Clear so far? Sundarraj, okay for you? Are you clear?
Yes, yes.
So
Yes.
let's look into a scenario how a grid-tied solar system works. I'll play a small video. Let me take you on to that 1 minute. Are you guys able to see this YouTube link? Is it visible for you? Okay, let me do a thing. I will post the link here. I've shared a link. Okay, I think you guys are able to see that link. You may click it on your mobile or your laptop. You can just see this because I'm not sure how comfortably it will be visible from sharing a screen here. Are people able to see now the YouTube link?
Yes, sir.
Are you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The one I have shared it here, grid-tied solar system. I shared the link as well. In case if somebody have difficulty, you can directly click the link over there and see that. Else you can continue to see this, what I'm projecting it here. Yeah, I believe some of you guys were able to see the screen that I had projected. In case if you weren't able to, the link that I've shared there would have helped you. Even if you didn't get a chance to see it now, you may see it later. So that is how on-grid system works. Yeah, is everybody there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, can we proceed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So I'll continue where we left this session. So this is what we were discussing about. We were finally in this session, in this slide. Okay. So going further to the main agenda point for which we have gathered here, this slide is the key slide. This also is coincidentally the business segmentations that Al Nabuda Solar is into. Can everyone see this? Sundaraj, can you see this?
Yes, yes, we can see
Okay.
it.
Yeah. So if you see this table, you can see the various business segmentation that we have. We have one under services, one under the products, and the third is under the distributed generation. So under the services, we have three aspects to handle. One is the operation and maintenance of a solar power plant. If there is a solar power plant, as one of the student was rightly stating in the very earlier slides, that if we maintain it properly, the system performs. Yes, he was very right. For the system maintenance, there is a technique, there is a way how you do it. It's not every layman's expertise at it. So people who have a sophisticated system know how to do, what to do, when to do, only those people get into this maintenance. It is not a mere panel cleaning. Many people get confused with the aspects that solar system is just for cleaning the panels. You will be able to maintain a very healthy state of it. It's not so. 1 minute. I think there is somebody is waiting at the lobby. Okay. Yeah. So even people who are from this trade sometimes ask a very, I would say, an imprudent question or a very childish question that this is after all cleaning of the solar panels, how difficult it is. So if it was so easy, everybody in the market would be doing that. So that's actually not it. It requires a lot of knowledge on the subject to handle that. And the second aspect is, if you see number two, there are energy audits which we do, which is also one of the key areas of our services. So any facility or any commercial establishments, if they have energy which are varied in nature, it need not be just electrical energy, it can be heat, it can be some of the emissions that they might have to the environment. So we will have to do a timely study of audits. What are all the various cumulative measures that they have in the premises, and how do we address each and every single element of it. And we also have the third in its kind under the services, which is the solar testing. So when we have a solar system which is performing, there are various health checks which we do time to time, how we determine and ascertain that this plant is performing well. This is totally fine. There is a thin level of difference between the operation maintenance and the testing. So operation and maintenance tries to keep some kind of predictive and preventive maintenance plans that you do. But this testing is something which is little sophisticated in nature. There are some thermography which is involved in it. There are local hotspots which develop in a solar panel. So again, these are a bit technical in nature. So that things will be dealt with under the services of testing. So when we move on to products, we currently under the banner of Nabuda have solar pumps. So where most of the applications of solar pumps, unlike the other household applications, are all DC in nature. So you don't require an inverter. The power or the voltage output that comes from a solar system itself is a DC voltage. So you can directly power it to run a system which is a DC pump, and you can use for irrigation application. Mostly solar pumps have the extreme level of subsidy in India, and people who want to put up a solar system in India have a very thin amount to shell out from their pocket, because the government of India as of today is wanting to promote this, and under this Kisan program that they have in India, the best of affordability is given for a common man so that he is able to embrace solar for his agricultural needs. Then under the distributed generation, we have four headers. One is number 5, as you can see, building integrated photovoltaic. This will help you have a kind of a facade of a building with active solar capture in it. So it will look like a normal sheet of glass, but when you closely look into it, there will be a kind of a thin layer of coating within it, which will be able to also generate electricity and at the same time give you the kind of visibility as you stand closer to it and see the external world. So this is called as building integrated photovoltaic. BIPV, it is shortly termed in technical wording. And the rooftop EPC, number 6, is some of the commonly adopted forms of solar. Every single person these days, whether it is in the residential segment or commercial or industrial, they are able to adapt to it. It can be as small as 1 kilowatt and it can be as big as even 2 megawatt. So different countries and different cities have different regulative norms. How much capacity is installable? What is the load bearing capacity that the roof will take, so that you will be able to actively install a system, because it has to run for 25 years. There should be no shadowing effect to it, because if there are shadows, ultimately your energy generation is going to be hampered. So all these come under this rooftop EPC assessment. And the next of its kind is the floating solar. Wherever there is active demand for the landscape, if the land cost is too high, and if you have canals or some water channels, so there you can deploy floating solar. This is becoming increasingly popular both in India as well as in the global spectrum. Everywhere people are adapting to floating solar. So there will be floats which will be holding the panels, and there will be certain anchor mechanisms that will secure the panels with the floats, and they will be installed in this way. The cost of it is slightly higher than this conventional rooftop, because the float itself constitutes the major cost element. And last in this business segmentation are solar street lighting. This again, wherever and whenever there is a need for electricity to be delivered from a solar system to power up a lighting application, there it is always possible to do it. You can find this in most parts of India too, and this is extremely very popular in Dubai. So most of the RTAs, bus stops, and the signaling lamps, all of them are powered with solar panels. So they will be always be available time to time. Panel cleaning is a must, so that they give you the active amount of power output from it. So far clear, guys? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this particular slide is one of the major things that you all will have come forward to this session. The online solar application, whatever we are conducting this session, is mainly for that. So these are some of the solar application. If there are any questions, I'm ready to take it. I can give you a few seconds if you guys want to think for a couple of minutes and ask anything which is relevant to what I've discussed here. No questions? Can one of you guys please speak if there are any questions, or should we proceed?
So regarding thin film solar cell,
Yeah.
So you have shown the picture BIPV, right?
Correct, correct.
Yeah. So is it a thin film solar cell or the one
Yes,
which we use
it
normally?
is. It is a thin
Ah.
film solar panel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the other panels wherever you're seeing the rest of them in the picture are conventional crystalline solar panels. This is a thin film solar panel. That's right. Okay. So, okay, let me move ahead. These are some of the project references of Al Nabuda solar team. So the installations that we have done in the uh, length and breadth of Dubai as well as in Sharjah are listed over here. This is a map of Dubai and Sharjah. You can see actively we have installed so far close to 9 projects, and you can also see the sizes. The project names have been indicated. For instance, if you see the serial number 1, it refers to Expo 2020. So Expo 2020 is one of the popular big thing to look forward in Dubai. It was, as the name very clearly suggests, it was supposed to kickstart in the October 2020, and so much of active work is being done by so many companies. But because of the COVID, things couldn't happen as planned. So it is now scheduled for October 2021. So there too, our company have done a rooftop system, which is of 190 kilowatt. And the recent in the list is serial number 9, which is a private project with one of the big reputed name in the market named Total Solar. They are also into the lubricants and the oil and gas segment. So we are doing a project in association with them. It's a 1 megawatt rooftop plant. We currently are working on it. The entire team as such are actively putting in their man-hours into it. So as you could see, the installations of roof can be of any size. It can be even 100 plus kilowatt to a megawatt, depending upon the area availability, the load factors, the need, and the type of installation. Some of our installations are in the car park area. We have done the installations on top of a car park. Some of it have been used in a kind of a flat roof. So we have installed the panels on a flat roof too, and even in sheet metal roof where there are industrial sets. So if you have a sloping industrial sheet metal roof, which you come across anywhere, even those places are ideal and suited for solar exploration. So I move ahead now. Questions. These were some of the questions that were listed to me by your team when I asked Sundarraj to prepare some of the questionnaires that you had in mind. Some of them were this. I believe the people whomever have gathered these questions have done a lot of time and indulgence in Google, because most of these questions have directly been picked from Google. I could see that. I appreciate it still, rather than with no questions, you guys at least came up gutfully to ask some questions that you could Google out and put it into a shape. The first question, can solar power get cheaper? So to answer this question, it already is cheaper. What started in with a tariff per unit approximately in the range of 17 plus rupees in India is currently at the rate of 3 or between 3 and 4 rupees per unit. So from 17 rupees to 4 rupees, sorry, 17 to 4 is such a big transition. You can see that declination in the cost and making people more affordable. Can solar power be used in manufacturing industries? Certainly, yes. The Grid Interactive solar video that I had played across has a very specific way to understand and identify how a solar power system can be used in manufacturing industry because it's a grid interactive system. It works in synchronization with the grid. Even if the grid fails, there are still mechanisms possible by which you can tap out solar. And if the grid is available, the priority always goes for solar uh, because the voltage drops from solar are comparatively so minimal because it will be the closest point of feed in from the roof to the generation point to the termination point where it is being used up. So as compared to the grid voltage that you will get from miles and miles away. So even if there is a voltage drop in the grid power, the voltage with regard to solar power will always be higher. So the priority goes for the generation from solar. So that is why always the first consumed power is solar power. Next comes the grid power. So the link that I've shared across the YouTube link, you guys can look into it. Again, that will give you a lot of clarity to it. COVID-19's impact on renewables. COVID-19, my friend, have really devastated the market, especially people like us whom are in this trade with at most kind of a lukewarm response from the clients because there has been dull economy. The market has not really been able to go ahead with its energy mission in every country, be it in India or UAE or rest of the world. People have not really been actively pursuing this. It has really impacted, uh, not just for solar, be it wind power or be it the other forms of energy. Everywhere there is a hit. So it is now reviving. It's slowly coming out of its doomed days because now there are a lot of measures which are taken to control this. There are active vaccinations happening, as you guys might have come across the news information. In this part of the world, people already have taken 2 shots of vaccination. For instance, myself and my colleagues in this organization have already taken 2 shots of vaccination. So that comparatively puts you onto lesser risk. So these days, people are mingling. There are business discussions happening. From the point where we had left the discussion, there has again be some momentum. So things are getting better in shape. But yes, it has really impacted the business. Challenges, obstacles to wind or solar energy in Iraq. This was very interesting because this exactly was copy pasted right from the Google information. I do not know who was the brain behind this. I was very surprised that why this person has asked specifically about Iraq. But then when I just tried to do a little bit of due diligence to it, I found out this was the way how it was presented in Google. And the person whomever has pulled in this data from the Google has exactly kept it intact with it. Correct copy அடிச்சிருக்கீங்க. Cheers to it. So whether it is in Iraq or whether in UAE or India, the basic obstacle which used to be there, it used to be there, I wouldn't say it continues to be there, it used to be there, was the affordability of solar, which has now become much affordable. Now solar power is more cheaper than a grid power. Per unit cost of electricity from grid is on a higher side than as compared with the solar tariff. And as in any country, the approval loops and the mechanism with which the minimal time frame will be required for the solar as such to flourish are one of the challenges because everywhere there are a lot of timelines which are consumed when you go for an approval. Because if you want to put a solar in your system, and that too if it is a grid interactive system, you cannot directly just start it on any random day. There are authorities to whom you will have to give your load factor, what's your connected load, how much is that going to be supported through solar, and there is also a cap to it. So all these things again come under the approvals of the authorities. That is again one of the basic challenge or the obstacle. And if we look at the other third important element, the myth which is surrounding solar, that people still are not completely educated about it. So they still are presuming that solar is something which will let me down if there is an important time when I need it the most. And if there is an active cloudy day, which is going to prevail in a place during my winter months or during the rainy days, then I am totally done with. Then I'm doing a mistake by adopting to solar. That is exactly not the case. We can of course have a separate discussion because that's a lengthy chapter for me to explain to you guys about it. These are some of the things which I would present to you as the challenges or obstacles. And what are the differences between a solar PV and a solar water heater? Solar PV basically works on photovoltaic effect. It was identified and studied in detail by Becquerel, one of the scientists in good old days. So he understood and identified that when there is sunlight falling on a kind of a substance, at that point of time he was not aware that that substances were referred as photovoltaic or photoelectric substance. So he found out that some forms of the substances are in a position that when light falls on it, sunlight falls on it, it is possible to convert them into electricity. So basically, solar photovoltaic works under that principle, the photovoltaic effect. Whereas solar water heaters are black body absorption concept. So you don't have any active requirements of solar panel in it. Though for a common man, it still looks like a kind of a box or a cabinet which still resembles from a distance like a solar panel. But if you go closer to it, it is actually not a solar panel. It is a black body absorption. So within it, there are tubes which are going through, and actively the sun's intense sunlight is captured there, the heat is captured, and that is getting radiated to this exchange of the flow of water when it goes through the pipe. So this is the basic difference between solar PV and solar water heater. Why do people use solar cooker instead of LPG? Again, this was a question which was posted in LinkedIn. I'm sorry, the Google as Kunal or Krunal, some name was there. Why would Krunal use solar cooker instead of LPG? Of course, for obvious reason, solar cooker is more cheaper as compared with LPG, because LPG is always kind of a thing which is going to perish sooner or later, but solar is not. It's one of the renewable sources, and it is one of the easiest way to construct. So there is also a link to it. I'll post that link also to you guys. So that link will give you very precise information as to how this works. So what I'll do is I'll copy this for you. 1 minute. So this is a link which I took it for you guys as to this how solar cooker works. It's a very small link, but very precisely it gives you the information that you guys need. So this is it, guys, from me, and we are at the final slide. I believe we are here. I was just about to say thank you. Are you able to see my credentials, my contact information? Is the screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you can reach out to me in my email ID, which is over here, as well as my mobile number. I can as well give it to your staff, Sundarraj. Later, if you have any further questions which are in detail in nature, you can ask me. And if there are any questions during the session which you would have accumulated it or noted it down somewhere, if you have something to discuss, I'm open for it. Anything?
Is there any job opportunity over there?
There are opportunities which keep coming up time to time. It's something which is a dynamic scenario that I can only say, depending upon the skill set what people have and what are their qualifications. If there is a match, yes, there is a possibility.
So guys, is there any doubt?
Seems to be a very obedient group. Huh? Quite very, quite very calm.
In online class they are quiet, but in real class,
Yeah, yeah.
any doubt?
தம்பிங்களா செஷன் முடிஞ்சதுப்பா. தளபதியை பத்தி யாராவது டிஸ்கஸ் பண்றதா இருந்தா பண்ணலாம்.
Okay.
How many students in this batch of mechanical engineering?
So there are about 150 students,
Okay.
out of which 42 have taken this elective, that's solar and wind energy.
Okay. 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 So these are all students of third year, is it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Fine. So if there are no questions, then we can conclude the session, guys. I extend my thanks to your college management as well as to you guys for having the patience to hear out. I'm not sure if you are able to get some insights from the session, but even if you would have got 10% in information, whatever I could share with you, and if it connected with you, and if you guys want to get into a stream where you want to be in solar and look for a career in solar, then I would certainly encourage you. It's one of the domains which will exist for a long, long time, as long as there is sun and there is active scope for exploration and solar across various parts of the world. This will continue on.
Okay. Thank you, Ashok. Thank you for readily agreeing our request. So
Yeah.
we thank from the institution and from the head of the department and on my own behalf for delivering the lecture on solar energy applications.
Okay.
Thank you very much. So, dear students, I have posted a Google form which is very simple. You can put your feedback there. Okay, so once you enter the feedback, you can get the certificate, participation certificate from there directly. Okay, so dear students, please you can give the feedback.
Okay, guys. Nice interacting with you all. Take care. Thank you. Bye. Thanks, Sundaraj. Bye.
Thank you, Ashok.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. See you. Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Dear students, you can leave the meet.